We're live. What happened to the countdown? Brain dump.
Man, I don't know, bro.
No,
Taking
I
out
wasn't even on my screen.
sleeping.
Uh, yeah. No, in any case, technical difficulties. It happens in tech. Man, we just came off of another webinar and you added a demo to this webinar that obviously I knew we had the capabilities or we wouldn't be here, but to see it and be able to present it was just different. So obviously I want to let everybody know what it is because it's one of the things that just changes the way that you do business. So I'll let you walk them through the demo. And if you want to see the demo live, just comment below, DM one of us, Wayne Runs, Touré D Young, and we'll send you a link to the video so that you can see it for yourself live. But go ahead and walk us through what it does.
Yeah. So the first things first, if you are a professional that gets a lot inundated with a lot of emails and sometimes get interrupted in your day, or even spend time going through those emails to find out it was unproductive. That was a problem that I had with a construction guy who reads blueprints on a regular basis to determine how he puts together proposals. And he said that he averaged spends 2.5 hours a week, 2.5 hours on one proposals, and he gets 20 proposals a week. So that's a estimate of 50 hours going towards just putting together proposals. And so what I was able to do is to show him how he can automate that entire experience, not just make a proposal, but to make sure that it gives accurate information. So we have a product that we call Handoff IQ. And Handoff IQ scans the email. Once the email is scanned, it will actually pull out and customize what information was important. In this person's case, it didn't really give any context in the email. It was very vague. It also, the documents that was provided were PDF documents of blueprints that he couldn't necessarily read because they were missing measurements on specific things that he needed. One of them actually had it. So what it did was not only did it identify what the math was, it also routed to creating a draft of an email, sending it back to the person, showing them the things they were able to get and things they are still missing. And it was able to do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, I think the fact that the email was vague and it automatically knew what to do because behind handoff IQ is the business brain.
Yeah.
So the business brain, knowing his business and what he does, saw the email with the attachments and just analyzed them according to his business and put numbers to it and used reference points like this side is this length, so this side is this length, and knows his material costs. So it started to estimate the job for him. So, and that's great for construction, but anybody that gets, we have another client that we're working with that does mortgages. So pay stubs, income verification, employment verification, for all the things that come in, to have those things come in and have them analyzed and the information go somewhere and then it just tell you what's next and draft a message to the client, the prospect, whomever it may be, to tell them what's missing before you even receive the email is powerful on a number of fronts. Not only does it save time, but even if you're working with another client and don't necessarily see that email come in, to have that happen in the background and just be alerted to say, hey, Teray sent an email with his pay stub. We're still missing the tax returns from last year, X, Y, and Z, so that you know to call him and say, and then it say, here's a drafted email that you might be able to send over to him. Do you want me to send it now? Or and then for you to be able to just verbally edit it and say, no, I want you to change this and then send it. Like that's
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. And I think with that new tool or skill that is working in the background, something that was 50 hours a week turns into an hour. That's that's crazy if you keep on with the same projector. And then the other thing too, especially for people in real estate, like title companies
oh
or even
man.
or mortgage companies, like they're inundated with documents on a regular basis. But the issue is too, is that they're the glue to keep these deals going. So they're getting calls from every and which way. They're getting emails, they're getting text message. And the reality of it is they're stopping and going. And you're wondering why these deals are lasting more than 30 days to close.
Yeah.
Like, like houses really shouldn't take that long to close if you think about it. Like you should be able to close a house in 14 days, no more than 21 days. I think because of those people who are working those documents and working those files, there are some unseen circumstances that take place. But for the most part, a lot of these are interrupted things that are taking place. And if you have something that can first, one, read the email, two, route it to the right individual, so you have like
Yeah.
more of a shared folder, and then be able to bump you when you have not necessarily responded on automation, and then be able, you could just speak and say, can you give me a recap on this file? That's a total different game changer and experience that people don't even realize they have access to. And I think more people are looking at this as content creation and, looking at AI as a means to go get me leads. Those are cool. But what about it takes care of the entire experience? Man, like, and all you're doing is overseeing and adding that special touch that make you unique in the business. That reason why people work with you in the first place.
Yeah, no, it changes your business and it changes the way that you do business because I mean everybody talks about that work-life balance and for the first time like you can truly control your work-life balance and you talked about them being the glue that holds things together. Now we're changing it to gorilla glue. So, yes, it's still held together, but it's not you anymore. We've extracted the genius that is you, your thought process that goes into analyzing those files, your thought process that goes into who you decide to route that to. If it's a mortgage broker, we want to go with this company, or we want to go with this company. If you're an attorney and it needs to go to this partner or to this junior associate, or if you're a CPA and you still need these documents to finish their tax filings or finish the proposal to purchase another business because you have them in, like there's so many different ways that this can change the way that you do business in your respective industry that obviously we conceptualize it. We've been on this journey for probably a solid 3, 4 years now. So I saw it every step of the way. But to be where we are now and be implementing this into people's businesses, I'm still dumbfounded and I'm on the inside.
And I think that what's interesting too is that, there's another way you can look at this too. So, in a client that we had, they were in a business where they were doing a lot of intake of documents. So they were helping people get qualified. And the challenging part is that they were using Microsoft, and no knock to Microsoft or SharePoint or Google Drive, any of those things. Like, we get them. But we also understand that the way those things are organized sometimes, man, it becomes more of a headache to find anything. And so you spend most of your time trying to make sure files are a certain way. So if I'm now having to go through emails, and here's the famous line, did you get that? Did you get that
Yeah.
email? And like, it's like, oh my goodness, like you find yourself getting frustrated. So what we did was for her to eliminate almost, I want to say, we eliminated a salary, not that we replaced a person, but how much time the person was spending and how much it was
Yeah.
costing them. And so now that means she has more time to outreach. But one of the things that we did, we self-served the entire experience. And I don't want to go too far in her story, but I want to go more so into the data because now all of a sudden we're now actually starting to look at how her business is running, where time not only is being spent, but where are we more profitable? How long we're on phone calls to make sure we're converting. What are we leveraging for the time that we can control that also leads into our legacy, right? And I think that that's the number one thing that AI is helping us do is we want to give that 80%, that 90% back to technology. And then that 10%, 5%, we want that to be your unique you so you can do more impactful things. And I think that that's the thing that I believe is underserved right now is people don't realize how powerful it is if they can reduce a lot of that day-to-day task for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say just two things, and I'm gonna get out of here. I mean, you said reduce time, and there's this cliche that time is money, but it really is money because you can almost quantify everything that you do based on your income and how much it actually costs you. So if we're giving you, like you said, something that normally take 2.5 hours and reduce it to a matter of minutes, like how many times do you do that? What's your salary? Divide that into your hourly rate, and that's how much money you just put back into your pocket. And then the other thing you did that I want to make sure that people understand is you mentioned all those other companies that we're not going to knock, but those companies are big box companies. Those companies are creating softwares and creating tools that you have to use. When we create this, we're wrapping it around your business. The first thing we do is learn how your business moves. and wrap this around it so you can move effortlessly with it. So think of it as a custom suit. If you when you get a custom suit made, they're measuring your measurements and figuring out how you're going to operate in this suit and tailoring the suit to fit those needs. And that's what we're doing with this brain and the things that we attach to it that allow you to continue to move the way that you move and make the business move with you.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good point, and I wanted to just piggyback off of that just to, put a bow on this is that we are owning our businesses, but we're renting everything else.
Man.
And I think I think it's important to recognize that we are business owners first who so happen to do tech or so happen to help people organize their thoughts and put their genius on display. And sometimes most people are leading with the opposite, like they're leading with their wallet to making sure they understand how much they get paid from it. Well, we want to focus on you owning the infrastructure because without being able to own that infrastructure, you're going to always be limited on how you can actually affect change for the economies that you're actually building for or who you're actually working for. So when you are talking about putting this together, understand that you own the infrastructure. You start to get things at cost. And sometimes you might find out really quickly that you can eliminate a lot of
Mm,
useful spending by actually being able to say there are things that you can do that's overlap. And there's also things that you can replace and not replacing people. Like I'm a big component that for you to grow, for leaders, you have to continue to replicate other people to be leaders. That's never going to change. However, we was not designed to sit there and be waiting for an email to come back through us. We wasn't designed to sit in front of a computer all day waiting for us to respond. Now I know there are people who got roles to do that, but that's not what our makeup is really for. We are very creative people and we see the world in different colors. And so we need to meet people where they are in order for those people can actually do a business that wrap around. So when you go out and you see a lot of these tools that people have, they're really just giving you a piece of their plate for you to eat off
mhm.
of. And if you don't necessarily understand the makeup of why they did it, it may sound good for the outcome. It may not be in alignment to where you guys are going long term, or it may not be in alignment to your actual core values as a company. And so this is why we start to blame the tool and not blame the person or the organization because we feel like, well, it can't be our fault. So we got to look at the tool and be like, AI doesn't work. Well, no, not if you're using it in the sense of let me take from somebody else and not actually build for my own.
Yeah. No, I mean, and if any of this makes sense or if any of this sounds like something that you might be able to benefit from, we have a challenge starting on July 6th where we're going to walk you through what this build looks like. We talk about the three levels that AI is being deployed. Everybody exists on one of those three levels. Very few get to level 3. Most people are operating on level 2. There are a few that are on level 1, but we want to bridge the gap and put the tools and resources in your hands so that we can change the way that you do business and change the way that your business operates. So reach out to one of us directly, or you can go to Touré.
You can go to Built to Move Challenge. It's eCroft Media slash Built to Move Challenge. You can definitely get it from eCroft Media site. I think it would be a great opportunity for you guys, and it's actually free. We're going to show you how to move your business for free, and really because we're more concerned about you learning how you can take your business to the next level than sitting there trying to charge you to learn this stuff. Because quite frankly, at the end of the day, you shouldn't be charged to be more efficient. You just need to have the tools and then use those tools accordingly because a lot of you guys are already operating like AI. You just don't have the bandwidth or the capacity too long to keep at that level. So we're going to take that burden off of you and show you the best way to actually use it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the challenge. If there's anything we can help with, again, at Wayne Runs, at Teray D Young, let us know. I can't stress enough. We're just here to help, just to share the information, and whatever happens from there happens. Folks, be well.
Peace.